Hello, this is Goddess Runic Seer. I wanted to talk further about that story or that reading that I have posted on my page, my channel. That makes sense. That when you're born, people recognize who you are, people see who you are as a chosen one. And they try to do everything they can for you not to know, to find out who you are, what your purpose is. Okay, I'm gonna come back in here because I have a little more privacy. So, like I was saying, so I have three families, right? Because so I have three families, right? Let's use my life as a prime example. I've always had an issue with my uncles on my mom's side. I've always had an issue with my sisters. As a child, I could never understand why I was treated the way I was. Everybody, my mom, my sister, my brother, and I'm just talking about my mom's side right now. I always had a problem with my uncles. I could never understand. I could see the jealousy and the envy, but I could never really understand why. And as a child, you don't. Let's go back to my stepdad, Timmons. They treated me the same way. They treated my cousin, Brandon Timmons, the one who passed away. They treated him like crazy crap too. And he could rap. He was really, really gifted in rapping. And I used to love to sit there and listen to him rap. They broke him. They got him into not believing in his dream of being a rapper. They broke him. Everything is coming into full circuit. Cir- what? Circus. Circle. Everything is coming up now. People are waking up. But like I was saying, energy is changing. Energy is coming and energy is going. A lot of family members are leaving out of people's lives. I left my family members a long time ago, and I just recently left my dad's side of the family because they are a part of it too. See, people do recognize the chosen one in the family, and they don't like it. So they do everything to break you. And they broke my cousin, Brandon Timmons, but they can't break me. I've always been guided by my angels. I've always heard a voice or saw a flash or a light or a orb. I always was guided. And I always listened. And I always use my intuition and my gifts. Even if you use it privately, you use them. You listen. You accept it. Right? A lot of people have a problem accepting their gifts because it goes out of the Bible or whatever controlled, structured religion. I always knew, and I never wavered from that. I always knew that there was more than one God. I always knew, and I kept it because the angels always spoke to me. I can tell you a lot of stories and dreams that I've had throughout my life that has kept me on the path because I listened and I didn't let my family stop me because I love them, right? You love them and you trust them, so you follow them. So you believe in everything they say. I've been there and I've done that. But when you go against my God, the one that speaks to me, it's a problem. And I don't care who you are. You could be my own mama. I'm still going to choose God, because now I know the devil's using you. The devil will even use your own mama, okay? That's something that you have to learn. And it's hard to let people go. It's hard. Especially if it's your mom. I don't let my mom go because I still live with my mom, right? I haven't let my mom go in the sense of I take care of her. I need to continue to take care of her, make sure that she's fine and okay. But then also, too, I'm not going to let you manipulate me, and I'm not going to let you lie. And there's one in every single family, all of them. The Nellums, the Timmons, and the Sinclairs. I've had a problem with everybody in the family. I don't talk to anybody. I don't even talk to my own sister. But see, because the connection with my mom is still there, I do kind of have to say something to my sister, because I've always felt out of place as a child. I still feel out of place. I can't talk to anybody in my family. I can't. Because they see something in you that you don't see in yourself. And I discovered that. You treated me messed up for a reason. You wanted to break me so that I wouldn't find out what my gifts are and my destiny as a chosen one. They do that so you can forget. They do that so you can deny and push it away. I didn't even know it was part of the twin flame journey until I experienced it. And I immediately knew that it was twin flame, because what happens? When he rejected me, what did I do? I poured into myself. And as I love myself, the more that he wakes up. But he's got to listen. And see, that's the thing. I'm so above where he is. And that's not to say, it's not to say I'm better than anybody. It's because I never wavered. I never wavered. I always listened to my intuition. Even if it went against the grain. I always did that. I don't have a problem cutting people off. I don't have a problem cutting family off. You continue to disrespect me, yeah, it's bye. But there's people that have a problem with that, and they fall into the cycle. They fall into that cycle of karmic cycle. And you sitting there in the cycle going around, round, round, like, what the heck is going on? Well, it's because you refuse to listen to what God is trying to tell you. Because it goes against the people that you love. But then the people that you love supposedly go against you since childhood. So since childhood, people have been trying to break me. I knew that when I found my dad's family, or I found out that I was a Sinclair, that it was going to be a problem, because God spoke to me before I did everything. He said things are going to be different. Things are going to change. And things have changed. A lot of things have changed. And I don't regret. I regret meeting my dad's family, but I don't regret meeting my grandma. And I don't regret changing my name. And the thing, how they attack you is they know how I am, right? I don't know why I keep saying right. They know who your twin is. And your twin act just like you. So where they try to hurt you the most, They try to get you to react, right? Because we both got anger problems. My dad had anger problems. That's where they try to get me. But see, I've already healed that part where I don't get angry and just start doing stuff and acting crazy. That's why you can't attack me, but you can attack my twin because he does that. He hasn't learned to control that anger. He hasn't learned how to alchemize it. He hasn't learned that stuff. So he stays in the cycle, in the karmic cycle. You have to learn. It's like I said, it's like a Mario game. You get better after each level. One level, you're learning how to do this. The next level, you're learning how to do this. And then once you get to that 10th level, it's like you done mastered all of that. So let's say, man, I don't even know how I could put it into like steps. It's just I could tell you throughout my life, I had a problem with each and every family member. And I could never understand why. But I still would just sit there because I was a lonely child. Even though people would make fun of me because I had buck teeth, nappy hair, people was making fun of me. And I never had friends, but I had angels. I would always play. I don't know. Like, I would always have, what they call imaginary friends. And they had weird names too. They have real weird names too. And I used to play with oleander leaves too. And people would be like, she gonna kill herself with them oleander leaves. Because I would put them in water and try to make a soup out of them. I knew not to drink it. I knew. I didn't know they were poison, but I knew that not to drink that water. Because I was about to drink it one time. But I heard a voice go, nah, don't do that. And so I didn't. But I would always see people looking at me like, she gonna kill herself. No, I'm still here. Because I listened to my angels. I listened to my intuition. God was always there. My ancestors were always there with me. And I listened throughout life. That's why I am where I am right now. That's why I don't have no kids. That's why I'm not married. Because I knew God was like, no. Every single time. Every time I would get a boyfriend or whatever, God be like, no. Just let this play out. No. That ain't it. And I listened. People are where they are because they don't listen. Because they denied their gifts. They denied their connection with God. Because they were listening to family. But your family was betraying you the whole time. By lying to you, getting you into doing this and doing that. 1313 on the clock. I never listened to my family because I knew they were stirring me the wrong way. Because there's times where my mom and my sister would say shit and I would believe them. And I would go do it and then it didn't work out. And I've learned after 2-3 times, oh no, I'm not going to trust you no more. Because you done stirred me the wrong way. Because you done told me to do this and I did it and it didn't work out. I've learned my lesson. I'm not going to keep saying yes. I'm going to say no. You go do it yourself. No, I'm not doing that. Because you're making me do something that goes against my purpose, that goes against me. So many people out there have denied themselves. And then on top of that, you denied your twin. When your twin was trying to tell you. See, that's why I was saying I could see the future. And it's all playing out right now. And these messages were coming out a year ago. And I didn't even understand them. That's why they're coming out again. Everybody was getting a certain reader that I listened to about having old videos. Well, those old videos are relevant. Obviously, you ain't ready to still listen to the message. So, is another year going to go by? Because messages don't repeat. Some messages don't repeat. That's why the readings are timeless. Because the messages don't repeat. So, you're going to have to go back to a reading done 7 years ago because you're going to get some aspect of the story. And it don't have to be the whole. There was one time where I was listening to a reading for 40 minutes. And after 40 minutes, that's when the messages came in for me. Sometimes you have to listen the messages won't come till 40 minutes in. And then you begin to understand, oh, okay, now it makes sense. Because readings are not going, tarot readings are not going to be the whole if it's an hour long, the whole hour is not going to be yours. It's going to dip in and out. It's going to dip in and out. Talk about you, talk about somebody else, talk about somebody else, talk about somebody else, and then it's background to you. Always remember that when you go into a tarot reading, it's not just talking about you. Then you got to realize whether it's a chosen one story or just another story. It's a lot of variables. That's what I was trying to find in that last video, variables. There's a lot of variables. When I was... Oh my God. I got to get off real soon because I only have 21 minutes on my phone. I need to delete some videos. Woo! When I was a team lead at Follett, it was different variables. It was really different variables. It wasn't just fulfilling the orders, printing orders from the computer and fulfilling them and gathering them and then fulfilling them. It was, you have to talk on the phone. You have to be on the computer. You got to do this. You have shipping and receiving. You have all this stuff that you got to do. And you're the team lead, so you leading the team. There's a lot of stuff that I had to learn that I had to do. It wasn't just fulfilling orders, printing orders up and gathering them and fulfilling them and then putting them on the shelf. It was more than that. It was, I got to figure out when your break, I have to figure out when your lunch is. I got to figure out when you take lunch. Luckily, the managers did that. So I didn't have to do all that. But I had to make sure that you was taking your lunch and you was taking your breaks. On top of that, I had to run the online counter. Make sure that they were doing the shift efficient. And they had bags and they had pens and they had stuff. And they could get into the computer and look up orders. And then you had to train them on how do you know on the screen that the order ain't ready or it's coming from another school, or you know what I'm saying? Like, I had to go around and do a lot of things. It wasn't just doing one thing. That's why I was saying that how we go through our life, how life is structured, will give you clues. I'm going flopping in and out. But that reading that I had posted from Light, that is so significant. And then it's like you want to throw obstacles at me. Me leaving my job, y'all thought I was going to disappear and be gone. And I didn't, because I have a loving mother that's able to take care of me. That didn't work. So you send a death spell to me to try to take me out because you don't want me and my twin collaborating on something? This is God's plan. This is what's supposed to happen. You can't do that. So learning from a reading, learning that my twin was trying to sever the soul connection, like, really? Like, you still was in denial. You still wasn't accepting nothing. And I sat here and I watched you. That's what hurt the most. I sat here and I watched you. That's the difference between somebody who goes against the grain their whole life because they know their family is karmic. All three of them were karmic. All three of them tried to stop me. And the difference between my twin, who let his family stop him, and now he's trying to discover who he is and everything. But but that's why I've been in a funk for a few days. Dude, I gotta get off. It's gonna go off. Let's catch back in another video.